Okay, so we got some exclusive stuff for you regarding another juror being dismissed. And I'm not talking about juror number 6. No, juror number 6 was dismissed officially yesterday and was replaced by a 57-year-old Caucasian male who's an accountant. Defense had slight issues with that guy. We'll get into that in a second. But I'm talking about another juror about to be tossed out of the Diddy trial today. Today is Tuesday, June 17th. I believe this is day 26 coming up. The court hasn't started yet, or maybe it has started. It's 9:50. So perhaps court has started. And I want to get into this thing with this juror being dismissed. I don't think anyone else is even reporting on this. This is exclusive right here on Time to Talk. Let's get into it. It's time to talk. We got our black coffee. We don't do tea. We do black coffee on this show. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you get all this wonderful stuff and this information. We're going to do a short video today, quick summary of what took place yesterday, which was day 25, Monday. And then we're going to get into more about what's coming up, right? But let's first get down to the business when it comes to the juror. So first of all, that juror number 6, which I mentioned yesterday as being officially dismissed, he was officially dismissed yesterday. So I guess after I did that recording. He was officially dismissed, and again, if you don't know, this was a brother who basically was inconsistent with where he lived. So as far as he was living in Jersey, he was living in New York, because if he lived in Jersey, then he wouldn't be called to be a juror on this and perform his civic duty. So there was some inconsistencies in that, and they finally got rid of him. They replaced him with this new guy. Now, the new guy that replaced him, 57-year-old Caucasian accountant. Defense had some objections to that. Why did the defense object to this today? Because this guy apparently was much more on the West Coast side when it came to the West Coast versus East Coast beef back in the day when it came to music. So he was more of a Pac, Dre, Suge Knight fan. And so the defense was like, hey, wait a minute. This guy was part of he was down with the West Coast. He was cheering Snoop and Dre and company back then. So he's against Diddy. So we don't want this guy. Obviously, I am slightly making a joke about this whole situation. That is not the case, but it is a 57-year-old accountant, a white man who has now replaced the other juror. So let's get back to the other juror that I just talked about that might be replaced or booted off today. So yesterday, the jury got to see videos. They got to see freak-off videos. They got to watch The Punisher getting down with Cassie. They got 3 videos. I think they were in 30-second snippets, whatever they were, but they got to watch, like little previews on Pornhub or something, right? They got to see little samples of what's going on. They got audio too. I don't know if it was surround sound, but I don't know how clear, if it was HD video of Cassie and what angles they got going on, but they got to watch these videos. One of the jurors, apparently, was rumored to be making sounds and splashing sounds behind the chair. So I think they're going to get rid of that juror because that juror seemed a little too excited and a little bit too into the actual videos. Of course, again, I am kidding. I'm clearly making a joke. But it was said that security this morning was specifically tasked with making sure that the jurors do not bring in any kind of lube, whether that's baby oil, Astroglide, or Vaseline of any kind, because they might be watching more videos today. So security has been tasked with making sure no one has any baby oil. I kid. All right. Anyway, they did get to watch video yesterday. And I guess the purpose of this, or some of the purpose of this, is looking to analyze, and you got to analyze these videos, as to whether or not Cassie was actually enjoying herself. And was she faking it, or was she enjoying herself? Was she faking it, or was she enjoying herself? It's like watching regular adult films. Right? A lot of these women are paid to do what they do, and they're making a ton of noise. They're making it seem like it's the greatest thing on the planet, but they're faking it. It's a part of their performance. So, if I was the defense, I'd probably say, look, you can't really determine whether or not she was being coerced and faking all of this action strictly to please Diddy over there in the corner while he's doing his thing. Maybe she was really enjoying it. I guess it depends on how great of an actress she is, right? We're going to be judging her performance as an actress while she gets down with the Punisher. That's kind of what this is. So they got to see these videos. I'm still sort of curious about how come none of these videos have been leaked. No one has seen a single tape, video evidence anywhere online. Maybe whatever they call the dark web, the black web, whatever it's called. Maybe they're out there somewhere, the full, videos. I have no idea with, Jane or, AKA whatever her name is, Daphne victim number 2. Maybe there's videos out there with them. I don't know, but I'm really shocked that nothing's been leaked so far. It's really interesting. Anyway, so that's what took place yesterday. The jury got to see these videos, and also there were two summary witnesses. It was basically just they were taking text and audio files from phone conversations, different records, and summarizing those for the jury. And a lot of this stuff was material between KK, Christina Courtroom, which is Diddy's, chief officer, chief assistant, chief executive officer, whatever she's called. And there's text messaging between him and her, and there's text messages between Jane and her, and Cassie and her, and this is going back as far as 2018 and all the way up to 2024. And a lot of this stuff was showing arrangements of, getting Molly and weed and coke and different things for Diddy, and financial payments and things for these things, and paying off the dealers or the people who actually procured these substances for Diddy for these particular nights. The drug mule, Brandon Paul, I believe his name is, was not actually called yesterday. He's supposed to be called today, Tuesday the 17th, right? He's going to be called today. I thought he was going to be called yesterday. I think everyone else did as well, but he's not. So these text messages, these exchanges, these phone calls, there was also evidence in there about, again, with Jane, victim number 2, Daphne, saying, I don't want to do these hotel night kind of things. I just want to have a regular kind of night. I want to do regular things, and I want to make sure I'm getting paid still, right? Like... There's all that stuff in there, and some stuff from Cassie about not deserving to be dragged around. We assume by the hair. She's telling this to Christina Coram and saying, "Hey, look, you got to talk to this guy." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll talk to him, girl. Yeah, whatever." Anyway, so all of these things go to what people keep saying, that this finally, all of those detailed messages, and whether it's audio recordings, voice messages, and text messages, this is all the RICO stuff. This is all a criminal enterprise with him using people in his organization to orchestrate and facilitate all these different things, which are going to assist him in getting something done and profit. I do not see that still. I said it yesterday. I did a video. I had a video where Sammy the Bull Gravano, former Gambino crime boss, talked about how is it RICO, and why is the government going after him for RICO, right? What's the motivation there? How does this really prove as RICO? Same thing with another attorney I had on I did a screen share, and I showed one of his videos talking, his Lionel Lionel talking about the same thing. Like, this is not RICO. And I still feel the same way. Of course, people are going to push back. People are going to make the assessment that legally speaking, yes, these text message exchanges showing a man making arrangements for drugs and making payments, that goes right there to RICO. But I still don't see it that way, and I don't think the jury is going to see it that way. I think there might be a few who are just so disgusted with Diddy that they're just going to make him guilty regardless. But I do believe there's going to be at least 1 to 2, maybe 3 jurors on that jury. When it comes time to really deliberate this and to really think it over, they're going to say, look, all we're seeing is that this is a guy who, the people around him, his assistants, of course they went and got his weed and got his alcohol, or arranged for the hotel to be set up a certain way so he can get his freak on. Again, we're putting a huge lens on a billionaire rap mogul's life, and it's most of his sex life that we're looking at. It's not some enterprise where Bad Boy was making arrangements in order to make sure that their artists were favored over another artist. And we see payola schemes, and we see threats of coercion with artists and record labels and producers. And Ciroc was being pushed in different nightclubs around the world, and Diddy was making sure that it was taken care of. And that would be RICO. That would obviously be that, right? What we're looking at is, if you would examine and put a lens on any rock star's life, especially like some single, some guy, and you find out that he's got assistants. They all have assistants. They all have people who work for them. They all have their private little troop of people who, dude, can you get me some weed? Can you get me some stuff? Yeah, I'm going to be in Brooklyn. Can you get me some of this? I'm going to be staying here. I'll be at the Trump. Can you get me some blah, 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 whatever? Oh, this girl, she wants some Molly. Can you get me some? None of that is criminal. If you're arguing that some of these substances are illegal or Schedule I drugs, so that's what we're talking about, then so be it. Just like the drug thing, when they raided his home and they found drugs. Yeah, is that what we're looking at? Because realistically, this is a guy arranging for his freaky nights of jump off, king nights as they're called now. So it's freak off, hotel nights of debauchery, or hotel nights for short, and now king nights with the king Diddy sitting in a corner whacking off while girls are getting punished by whatever, male escorts. I failed to see how that's a king. But anyway, more like a court jester. But all of this is an examination of a man's sexual life. And his abuse and the way he treated people, right? But the people he's getting to facilitate to do these things are all in the interest of, hey, I'm going to be in Miami. I'm going to have one of those nights. I want to wild out. But put it like this. If it were a couple of nights of wilding out while you're in Turks and Caicos and you're like, hey, you know, call up, blah, 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 whatever. Try to get some weed. Try to get this liquor here. Try to get that. Would that be considered like an enterprise of like craziness because you're having wild nights? It's just not. I still don't see this as anything more than us examining this guy's life. I'm going on now and I'm just saying it. So that really yesterday, the only thing to report were the two summary witnesses talking about all this stuff, the release of that one juror replaced with the 57-year-old guy. And again, the prosecution trying to make the case that this is definitely RICO based on these text messages and these different exchanges that we got from that secret phone or whatever it was. I still don't see it, people. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Time to talk. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know. Short video. I told you it was going to be short. A little bit of humor at the beginning of this. But anyway, hopefully you stay tuned. Hit the like button on the way out. I really appreciate that. Comment below. Let me know. If you haven't subscribed to the channel. There'll be more black coffee. Again, we don't do tea. We do black coffee. And I'll see you on the next time to talk. Peace.